Hey everybody, this is Natasha Thomas, Manager of Sports Training and Competition at the State Office of Special Olympics Florida, and today we'll be hosting a webinar for the sport of triathlon for this year 2020. With this webinar, we want to go over a couple of talking points. Those being giving a brief history of the sport within the Special Olympics Florida community, also providing some benefits that the sport brings to both our Athletes Unified partners. We want to go over a couple of requirements that we will have for those Athletes Unified partners competing in the sport, as well as giving you guys tips on how to start a local program in your county or area, and recruiting coaches and Athletes Unified partners to compete. Also, we will be going over ways to provide coaches, unified partners, and athletes with preliminary knowledge surrounding equipment for that sport, as well as training. So to go over a couple of key points for the history within the sport, we started about 2 years ago in the Central Florida area, and we had a great coach and supporter in Wayne and Hector, who were huge catalysts and experts that helped us to get the sport off the ground. We actually started with only 4 Athletes Unified partners and have now grown to 10. So we've basically doubled that number within these past couple of years. And they've also helped us build great relationships with local race directors in the Central Florida area that have actually allowed our Special Olympics athletes and unified partners to compete in those races alongside the rest of their triathletes. So why choose a sport of triathlon? We want to provide more inclusive opportunities for our athletes at all times, and this sport allows that, and that they can compete alongside unified partners and others that aren't involved in the Special Olympics community, so it opens up to become more diverse in that environment. It also provides a great challenge for our athletes who already train within those sports of swimming, track and field, and cycling. This sport provides great fitness benefits to those who compete and provide them with lifelong sport knowledge and training and endurance when they're competing in other sports and transferring over into other sports that Special Olympics Florida provides for them. Now I'll turn it over to Hector, who will be going over more of triathlon sport.
Hi everyone, Hector Torres. I'm the head coach for the Central Florida Triathlon Club and the owner of Tri-League Athletes. So what is the sport of triathlon? It consists of a swim, a bike, and a run. So the majority of the swims are going to be held in open water. The roads are going to be, we made sure that we selected the roads that are going to be a closed course, so it could be easy for our Special Olympic athletes to handle. And of course, you have the run. When you practice the sport of triathlon, you have several distances. Many people are aware of the Ironman distance. That's 140.6 miles. We're not expecting the athletes to do 140.6 miles. And the most second most popular one is the one out of the Olympics. That is the international distance. So I'm just going to go over all distances. You have the sprint distance. It varies based upon the race structure. And of course, I just mentioned the Olympic distance, that you have a 1.5 kilometer swim. You have a 40K bike ride, and then you follow by a 10K run. The half Ironman is 70.3 miles. That is a 1.2 mile swim, a 56 mile bike ride, and you also have a 13.1 mile run. And then for the Ironman distance, you have a 2.4 mile swim, followed by a 112 mile bike ride. Then you have a 26.2 mile run. However, for Special Olympics, if we're working with people with disabilities, we're going to be focusing on the swim. That's going to be 750 meters, followed by a 9.1 mile bike ride, and then you'll have a 5K run. Things that you'll need for training, because, you know, it's not just showing up and thinking that things are going to miraculously come together. No, you have to train, and especially when you're practicing 3 disciplines, you have to make the time to do it, and you also want to need the equipment. The equipment you'll need for the swim is, of course, you'll need a swim cap, you'll need some goggles, you'll need some fins, a buoy, paddles, and a swimsuit, of course. And then for cycling, you need a bike. You will definitely need a bike trainer. Or in the meantime, you can have access to a gym and use a spin bike in the meantime. You'll need a helmet. You need some cycling shoes. It will be optional. Let's say optional for cycling shoes based upon the individual. And then you'll also need a water bottle. And then for the run, you need some running shoes, a hat, and a water bottle. So I'm going to pass you over to Natasha. Natasha, the floor is yours.
Competing in Special Olympics Florida, we do require some paperwork to be on file from both the athlete and unified partner, and both of those will require paperwork, with the athlete requiring a medical on file and the unified partner requiring a unified partner form to be with us on file, and both of those will expire after 3 years, so they last quite a long time. For the athlete, we specifically require approval from their county director to train and compete in that sport. And then we also require them to compete alongside a unified partner and have a certified coach with them at all times while they're competing in that sport. As a unified partner, we require them to have participant behaviors training, which we do provide free online through our website on SpecialOlympicsFlorida.org. And we do ask that those unified partners come with previous triathlon experience due to the rigorousness of this sport. So starting a triathlon program locally, being that we've had Hector and Wynn by our side and building that for the Central Florida area, they have some great tips on how to, start up in your local program or area. And they do recommend reaching out to local tri clubs or groups in that area. And if you guys, by any chance, cannot find a tri club, maybe reaching out to cycling clubs and or running clubs in your area. Reaching out to those clubs, you can find two things from them that are that require extreme importance: is having a coach, certified coach, and unified partners. And you can grab both of those from those clubs or groups. Alongside those, they may be able to help you in finding a facility to train when they're getting ready to compete in those races. So because we have to recommend that all athletes compete with a unified partner. That's a liability for us and managing that safety, and for them to have effective training and training along somebody who knows what they're doing in that sport, and also providing them with another addition of inclusion and competing along those who may not be familiar with those that have intellectual disabilities or with Special Olympics Florida and what we have to offer. And from a coach standpoint, we do require them that they become certified through us, which also adds another layer of safety. And then also for insurance purposes, they will be covered while they're training before their races under Special Olympics Florida.
Good day, everyone. My name is Wynn McFarland. I'm on the Central Florida Triathlon Board, and I primarily serve as a liaison between Special Olympics Florida and Coach Hector Torres here in Central Florida. Once you've identified your athletes, your local club and coach, and some unified partners and begun training, it's time to find local race directors who are willing to host your athletes. In Central Florida for 2020, we've identified 4 races for the 2020 season. You can register through Epic Sports Marketing, and we invite anyone who wants to travel to Central Florida to join us for any of these races to do so. Our races are March 21, May 9, June 20 is an official invitational, and August 22 is our championship. We have selected to work with a race director that is hosting these races in a closed course, as Hector mentioned earlier, because we find it to be the safest. We have also negotiated a deal with the race director so that once the athletes register with a specific code they are provided, then their unified partner may race for free. And lastly, these race directors in Central Florida have agreed to have a separate division for the Special Olympic athletes, so they are not taking off at the same time as all the other athletes. And this is just one more additional layer of safety.
It is very important that for us to become USAT annual members. So as USA Triathlon, it is an Olympic sport. It has a governing body. So I'm going to encourage all of you to visit usatriathlon.org and get an annual membership. You're going to need this membership, in which it will last you a whole year. It will give you a bunch of discounts and benefits to it, but you will not need it every single time when you go to the race and pay a one-day fee. I encourage you to get an annual membership. As one thing that I wanted to add that when you're looking at these clubs, that they are sanctioned, and these coaches, they are USAT certified coaches as well. And it all falls under the umbrella of USA Triathlon. Right?
Once you are signed up for your local races or the races here in Central Florida with us, you're going to want to have your athletes in a uniform. And we have negotiated a great deal with Kiwami. They've been kind enough to donate the first 20 triathlon kits, which we've already had shipped to us. And all additional tri-kits this season can be purchased at 60% of the retail cost. The kits are really attractive. These here are the men's, or can also be worn by a woman if they prefer this version. The back of each uniform will designate whether you are a Special Olympics athlete or a unified partner. The next slide shows the women's kit. Again, you can see it will show whether the athlete is a Special Olympics unified partner or an athlete. If you have any questions about how to start a club or recruit athletes or work with a coach, you can reach out to any one of us. You'll see on the slide our phone numbers or emails. We are all excited to help you get your club started and running full force in your local community. Thank you.